You spoke earlier of the vulnerabilities that the police had mentioned at this police conference earlier, but they wouldn't be drawn on it. Now, I'll re-quote what I just re-quoted, which I think is a very significant development. They say, sadly, it is clear from speaking to Paul, that's Paul Ansell, her partner, and the family, that Nicola had in the past suffered with some significant issues with alcohol, which were brought on by her ongoing struggles with the menopause, and that these struggles had resurfaced over recent months. So what we're talking about here is a police suggestion that when Nicola went down that river, the towpath with her dog Willow, and sat on that bench, she was struggling mentally.
Yes, well, we're just getting this in. We're just having time to digest it. I think what we've got here is that there was a call for welfare at Nicola's address 17 days before she went missing. So these issues that were raised, these vulnerability issues which were raised earlier on in the police press conference, it's clear that they were quite recent indeed. We're not talking in the space of a few months ago. It looks like these potentially could have been ongoing. It also goes on to say...
Sorry to interrupt, Oliver. We're talking about January the 10th, not long ago, as you quite rightly say. As a result of Nicola's issues, the alcohol, the menopause, this is the police saying this, a response car staffed by both police and health professionals attended a report of concern for welfare at Nicola's home address on January the 10th. I mean, this is big news, isn't it?
Well, it certainly brings about more light onto these issues that the police had raised this morning. Remember, earlier on we were talking about the police asking people not to speculate, and then in this press conference, them bringing up a whole new subject about Nicola being a vulnerable adult, but then not giving any more information about it. And I think it was only a matter of time before the police were forced to talk about some of these issues because, you know, it is the Wild West online, on TikTok, on Twitter. People have got all their own different types of theories, and so I think the police now are trying to give more of that picture around potentially what might have happened today. They do believe that Nicola has fallen into the river. They say accidentally. We've just got to now wait and see if there's going to be any more information that comes out from the police, because this morning we didn't have very much at all. It had been a week since we'd had that last press conference. Then we've had this huge amount of new information coming forward in the lead up to lunch, and then now into the evening, this big development, as you say, Kevin.
And the police stressing that this is very unusual for them to reveal this type of detail, but reading between the lines, the police are getting increasingly frustrated with what you might call these amateur detectives all over online and social media coming up with their theories that are not helpful and are in fact extremely upsetting, I think, for Nicola's family and her loved ones. So the police actually sort of breaking ranks and trying to say, look, this is where we're at, this is what we know. So to their credit now, they've gone to extreme lengths to put us in the picture.
Yeah, they are trying to give us, I think, as much information as possible. Certainly speaking to the communications specialist from the police earlier on, they said that they do want to put out as much information as possible. It's just all sometimes a little bit difficult. They've got to go through family liaison officers, the detectives, they then got to go through the senior investigating officer. It's all got to be signed off, and so there can be delays. I think what we're seeing, though, is the police trying to give a little bit more information so that they can reassure the public that they have been doing everything possible. There has been a lot of wild speculation online about whether Nicola had been kidnapped, whether Nicola had run away, whether Nicola had done X, Y, Z, and I think the police are trying to put out as much information as possible that they can, so that they can paint a full picture which shows the investigation routes that they've taken and the reasons why they've taken them and the reasons that they've come up with their hypothesis, you know. But there is still very many open questions left, such as, if Nicola did fall into the river, why haven't we found a body so far?
Yep.
If Nicola did leave by a different path, where has she gone? So big development, big insight into some of the background of Nicola Bulley. But as I say, there's still very many unanswered questions here.